This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined with Jamie Conlan. We've just had a great night, a very successful night at Falls Park. Pody McCrory retains it. Pody McCrory, unanimous decision win. Sean McComb, unanimous decision win. Another great night for Irish Hand throughout the card. You must be absolutely delighted.
It was a great night. Exactly what we ordered, what we wanted. And just like, some fights were fantastic, some fights were really, really good, all evenly matched. Kieran Molloy on the undercard was special. Harry handled Samuel Mason in the first round. 2 fights ago, Samuel Mason was in for a British title fight with Alan Smith, and he didn't get out of the first round with Kieran. Just to go as a testament to him, and Harry's proven in his career in only his 6th fight. So yeah, brilliant night.
Definitely touching on Kieran Molloy there. You think we was chatting to him, and he was, even did Dalton Smith, and I mean, it's hard to sort of get him out quicker than Kieran did, but even Dalton Smith or Paddy Donovan didn't even get him out that quick. So a real testament to how good, how special he could be. Yeah,
definitely. Just the wee small minor adjustments that he's making is really telling. Learn a lot in the sparring, learn a lot in the gym. A few setbacks outside, not even in the ring, just outside the ring. Fights falling through at the last second, things like that. All learning process for him, and he's still able to produce the goods. He was due to go on in Canada, August show, and we were looking to get him out in the States, but then this one came up and we just put him on in here. We got him in here pretty quickly and just adapted him on the fly, and it was last minute kind of thing. So, but performed, stood up the plate, fantastic.
And we'll just touch on the main event. Pody McCrory, a real tough opponent there in Steed, Woodall, and he came to fight. And when you have fights like that, it makes for great occasions.
Yeah, when you have fighters like that, good, honest fighters. I said this before. This is a fantastic trade fight because both guys put it all on the line, but they also came with confidence. Each of them thought they seen enough holes in the other opponent to kind of take this opportunity. Steve Woodall didn't have to come to Belfast, and he had opportunities abroad. He had a great win on Sky Sports, beating Boris Creighton. He could have built on that momentum over there, had 1 or 2 handy fights, really looked good on TV, but he came here to take an opportunity of both hands, really come into the Land's Den, which this is in Belfast, and he, great account of himself. Performed better than actually I thought he had it in him. Took shots well. Great speed, great counters, fast feet, fantastic fitness. Really impressed by him. Made it even more better that I was impressed with Pody more. How he was able to adapt and handle that. First time in his career getting his chin checked properly. Toughest test in his career. Someone really coming, baying for blood. It was just, really a great performance. Tight fight. Knockdown was big. I think McCrory, he had hurt his hand prior to it and only had 2 spars in the lead up to the fight, and I think that showed a bit in the rustiness where he was, the distance was not there, but then started to cope with it, and really great fight.
And Sean McComb, we said sort of since the Gavin Gwynn fight, the way he's pushed on, and now another really good performance. He's a real sort of almost a good example for young fighters out there that, even if you're taking a loss, it's just made him stronger.
Exactly. And every fight, like tonight as well, if he didn't have that Gavin Gwynn fight, he wouldn't be able to cope with tonight, because Alejandro Moya was pushing in the later rounds, and he really had to test himself and really had a wee gut check himself and come back and fight. And fantastic, great start, great fight. Fought inside, fought outside. Real test tonight. So it was for Sean.
Just wanted to touch on Tyrone McKenna fighting for the IBO title in Dublin. Another big show for him, and another big time to push on since the Chris Jenkins fight.
Yeah, it is. Tyrone's, he's mad, like downright mad, mental. But we were glad to get this over the line. We were hoping to try and get it for this card, and it just kind of wasn't lining up right. And I spoke with Chris Searchy. We were talking about something in September, and we worked together on this show in the RDS. It's going to be a special show. RDS hasn't had boxing since Barry McGuigan. It's made for boxing. The setup there is fantastic. Hart will look aesthetically, will be brilliant. Optically, will be brilliant. Tyrone McKenna is that fan-friendly Cinderella man type of fighter who's going to leave it all in the ring, and that's kind of why we wanted to put it to our headline act, because that's a fight that the fans will be paying for. And really excited then to host the Dublin fighters as well as all Ireland fights, which we'll announce next week.
Definitely. Another one I want to touch on. When could we see Alex Dilmaghani signing? Would he potentially be featuring soon?
Alex Dilmaghani will be featuring that card. Yeah, he will. Few offers with Alex, but it's just about Alex now. It's not about jumping in the fights when he's not ready. Get behind him, get some quality fights behind him, get some activity behind him, which he's been lacking over the past while. Starting with it, we hoped again for Alex to kind of be ready to go here now, and it wasn't to be. But I told him he's waited so long, so let's not be impatient now. So September 16th, and then December again potentially for Alex, and keeping him active. Georgia as well will go on September 16th. She was heartbroken about not getting out tonight, and it kicked home when she got here tonight and seeing what it was like, and felt the atmosphere and felt the people, and felt like she was missing out on that. So yeah, I was gutted for her, but them two will feature on the Dublin card. Yeah.
Moving on, we saw the news come out this week of Mick leaving Adam Booth, parting ways. Respectful split, but how big of this it was a decision in his career now, and almost one where it's, like we said, you got the path has to be carefully picked, and this is another sort of choice that's been made. So it's a careful choice that's been made.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It wasn't an easy decision to make either, because Adam's more than a coach, especially to both of us. He's a good confidant, he's a friend, he's someone who's very knowledgeable within the game, he offers great advice, both like outside the ring and inside the ring, and then his relationship with Michael was close. It was a bit more than the trainer-fighter relationship, so I don't think it was an easy decision, but it was a decision that had to be made for this stage of his career. Fresh start, fresh approach, just a new lease of life, and I think since that's kind of been released and been announced, that I see that in Michael, that there is a bit of spring, there is a bit of let's get back to this now, and a bit of fire back in the belly.
I was going to say literally just what you're saying there about the fire back in the belly. It's sometimes where people can, if you're in a situation, you get comfortable. If you're at the same thing all the time, you're going to the same training, do the same training. That switch, do you think that's what you need in a way of a complete new trainer and almost a fresh start, new relationships that need to be formed, all these new stuff? It's what sort of Mick may need.
Yeah, that's it. You've seen it with plenty of fighters in the past, that they go through these patches in their careers, and it's a real reignation to them. And yeah, it's not a split because of bad coaching, not a split because disagreements. It's just a split because it's the right move for him, both mentally and physically, in the next stage of his career.
100%. I know obviously you're brothers, but we were talking to Mick there, and it's like, do you think maybe this may sort of cause a spell for potentially outside the UK? We look at America, other places like that. Do you think that could be a possibility on the cards?
Yeah, it is. Commercially, Michael is massive here. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. We do 10,000 in the arena. There's very few fighters who can do that. Commercially in the States, he's also massive. Having the big draw in Madison Square Garden, Harry can ignite the Irish passion over there. Yeah, he's a commercially viable fighter anywhere in the world, and that's one thing that's standing with him. Regardless of the last result, he can still jump back in and do big things on any TV network and in any stadium in the world.
100%. Jamie, thank you for your time, and thank you for all your hospitality this week in Belfast. I've had a really good time, so I appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, Luke. Thanks for coming over. I think you've went up the pecking order now in the Boxing Social team, and you're rung one now, I think, so yeah. Tell Sheldon to keep sending you over here.
I said I'm knocking on the door for Dublin, mate, so hopefully I'll be there. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it, mate.